Welcome everyone. Hello. How's everyone doing? Yeah, Saturday morning. Yeah. Welcome to, this is an introduction to First and First Lego League program, and we're going to be going over all the basics, answer any questions that you guys might have as we kick off our season. So, can I first get like a show of hands? How many of you guys are coaches in here? Yeah? Okay, good amount. How many of you guys are first year coaches? This will be your first time leading a team. Okay, can we get a round of applause for our first year coaches? Awesome. So awesome to see new coaches, new teams coming up every single year. You're gonna have so much fun. It's such a journey, but so worth it. Answer any questions I have. I see a lot of teams in this room. How many of you guys, is this gonna be your first year on a First Lego League team? Okay. Can we get a round of applause for the kids as well? Awesome. Yeah, you guys are definitely off to a great start, you know. For the rest of you guys, how many people have been on a team for 2 years? Raise your hand. 3?
Or 2 or more?
2 or more? Yeah. 2 or more. 3 years? Okay. 4? 5? How many years have you been on a team?
Me?
Yeah.
This will be year 7.
Oh my gosh, I think we have a very veteran in the room. Oh, for those of you in the back, feel free to come on this side. There's a lot more room as well. Are we out of chairs, I think? But yeah, feel free to spread out anywhere. Yeah, you don't have to like squish in the back. Okay, yeah. Awesome. So nice to see you guys. Just gonna let everyone get settled down. But awesome, cool. So, can I get one more show of hands? How many of you guys, when I say the word first, how many of you guys know what that means? Yes? Okay, good. Couple of you. So that's what hopefully by the end of this session, you guys will all be able to raise your hands for that. So, welcome to the introduction to First Lego League, specifically for the 2026 season. Okay, a little bit about me. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Helen. I am a high school senior, actually, and my experience with First is I've done it for half my life. I was a First Lego League student, just like a lot of you guys in this room. So I've been through the program, absolutely love the experience, went back to mentor actually, and I started a program at my school. It's been going it started out as a club, now it's a class, and we have so many students experience this program, and it's been so amazing being able to go and give back and go and mentor some of these students, and that's really awesome. I'm also currently a high school robotics student, so this is going to be, unfortunately, my last year, but I am doing high school robotics called FRC. I've ran summer camps for First Lego League. It's just like a week-long little crash course thing. So, point is, I've been through the program. I've done it as a student. I've done it as sort of a mentor, coach. So hopefully, I can provide both of those perspectives and sort of give you guys some insight to what this program is really about. So, a couple of slides ago, I asked you guys a question. What is First? And so, First, it is many things, but it also stands for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. So First is a robotics program, and it encompasses all the way to, from like, I think pre-K, all the way to high school. So nobody's ever too young for First, nobody's ever too young for robotics, nobody's ever too young for STEM. And it's a really awesome program that really meets you at your level and really encourages you to develop, to grow into a more into a problem thinker, into an innovator, into just better than you were before you joined. And so there's a little video here that we can watch. Is the audio shared? No? Okay. But yeah. This is sort of like a highlight reel of the first championship event, which is basically the culmination. This is first at its highest level. It's so fun, so much excitement, and this is just a taste of what you'll be getting into. So this is the World Championship. It's international. There's teams from all over the world. Right now you're looking at this is actually FLL. So these are the Legos, these are the kids. Super awesome, super exciting. Very fast paced also. And this is the middle to high school program called FTC. You can see the robots are getting a little bit bigger. So much collaboration and teamwork. And this is the high school program. You can see definitely the robots are getting a lot bigger. There's actually 6 robots on the field at all times, and you're playing on the size of a basketball court. Definitely very excited to be the world champion. Yeah, so that is what you have to look forward to. Who's excited? Okay, so that was sort of an overview of the entire first program. As you can see, it really does encompass everyone of all ages, and there's different challenges for different age groups. And so today we're going to be focused on the program as a whole. It gives you a lot of not only technical skills, right? Obviously you're building, you're coding, you're designing, you're fixing things, you're making things better, but you're also developing a lot of very, very relevant soft skills. So like project management, teamwork, right? You always have to, first LEGO League, you have to work on a team and you have to be able to do it well. So teamwork, it sounds trivial, but it is definitely one of the most important aspects that I think that good teams really, really excel at, and that's sort of why they perform so well. So working as a team, definitely one of the most beneficial skills that you'll learn. Maybe you didn't even expect that. Maybe you just wanted to learn and build a robot, but you will definitely be learning so much more along the way, just being on a first LEGO League team. right? It doesn't really matter how you perform, as long as you have the right attitude and the right mentality, you're always going to be learning something, and you're always going to be improving and being better than maybe you were before. So it really is a sport. Some people, it's a little bit contested, but it's very competitive, right? First Lego League, it's a competition, so there is a competitive aspect to it. Always trying to be better, but that doesn't mean, right, tearing your opponents down. That means working with each other, being better, and making sure that everyone will collaborate and level up together, right? Because in the real world, if you want to be better, if you want to progress as a society, as in the real world, then you're not going to tear other people down. You're going to work together with them, and you're going to collaborate with them to make something that even better that maybe you couldn't come up with alone. And so it's really all these things. It's super amazing, phenomenal program. I've been really grateful to be able to be part of it for so many years. And so this is our new thing for the season 2026. It's called First Age. It's an archaeology themed program, and you can see all the different themes for the different programs. So for FLL, our theme this year is called Unearthed, and it's going to be super exciting. I just love the logos, that's why I put this up here. Okay, so more specifically, First Lego League, which stands for FLL, you might have heard me say it a couple times, but that is what FLL stands for, First Lego League. And as the name implies, you are building robots out of Legos. And so pretty much the only requirement is your robot has to be made out of Legos. Like the official brand makes the pieces and you can buy them, and it's super cool, super awesome. Those are sort of what the robots look like. That's an older model, it's called the EV3, and this one is the Spike Prime. It's a little bit more colorful, a little bit more intuitive, and that is what most of you guys will be using to compete. And then it is teams of 2 to 10. So if you have more or less than that, you'll be forming multiple teams maybe. And so, yeah. You're not only building robots, but you're also developing a research project to a real world scientific project, right? So you're solving a real world problem that professionals face every day. And you're deep diving into it, you're finding a solution, you're prototyping, you're talking to experts, and you're really just becoming the expert on this one topic and presenting it at your competitions. You will be, for the robot part, it is fully autonomous. Do we know what that means for the littles in the room? Can somebody define autonomous for me? Autonomous. I'm gonna kind of break it down. There's the word auto in there. What comes to mind when I say the word auto? Automotive, yeah? Mm-hmm. Anyone else? In the front, maybe? Okay. Oh yeah, you over there? Automatic? Yeah, that's a good word. Okay, yeah, so autonomous. Oh wait, here. Yeah, you in the back? It what? It does something random. It does something random? Yeah. So autonomous just means that your robot is moving by itself, right? So auto means self, and so autonomous means that your robot is moving by itself. What that means is that you will pre-program your robot, right? You'll tell it, I want you to drive straight, I want you to turn left, I want you to pick up this piece, right? But all of that is done beforehand, so you're not reacting to it in real time. Compared to, have you guys ever driven a remote-controlled car? Yeah? Mm-hmm. So those are not autonomous, right? So you're building autonomous robots, and the challenge of it is to program it beforehand and not be able to be like, oh, there's an obstacle in my way, I have to turn left, right? You have to really plan those out in advance. Yeah. And so, a little bit of a more FLL specific season overview. Right now, the season always kicks off in August, so you guys are here for the first part. Welcome, welcome. So this is when everything drops, right? I think on August 5th was the season reveal, and that was when you get your game mission model building instructions, so you can start building those up. You can start analyzing the game, you can start strategizing, you get the official rulebook, so it tells you how to score points, how to, what are the different criteria that you have to meet that year, right? And so all of those things are were released already on August 5th, so if you haven't taken a look at that, you probably will today, and you can definitely refer to it for the future. So in August, I typically recommend planning out your season in September to November. This is when you guys will be working the most. So you'll be building your robots, you'll be researching your innovation project, you'll be practicing your presentations, you'll be doing everything in this very, very short 3-month period. And in late November / early December is going to be when you compete in what's called regional events or qualifiers. These are all throughout the state, typically at local like high schools or maybe even like other venues like community colleges, or I know Microchip has one. So all throughout the state, there's different weeks as well. You'll have regional competitions that you can attend. You can only attend one, and if you place or if you qualify from that, then you are invited to the state championship, which will be in January. It will be at ASU. I don't know which specific venue, but it is at ASU. And this is where teams from all across the state, the top teams all across the state, come to compete. And it's super amazing. You get to meet so many cool people, you get to meet so many people like you. And yeah, it's just super amazing. So from August until January is going to be sort of the season for First LEGO League. And yeah, any questions so far? Yes? No?
Do you know the dates for the qualifiers?
I don't yet, but they definitely will be like emailed to you sometime soon. Yeah. Sometime. So there's also the question of time commitment, right? So a lot of teams come from a lot of different backgrounds. I know some teams are based out of school, right? Show of hands, how many guys are based out of a school? Okay. Yeah, how many of you guys are community teams? Yeah. Okay, a good amount of you. Yeah. For the rest of you, are there like any other types of teams? Yeah, I think those are the two main. Girl Scouts? Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so that's sort of what I mean by like community or like program based, I suppose. So if you're based out of a school, right, you have typically like if you're a club, then you probably have like weekly or bi-weekly meetings, or if you're a class, you probably meet like every day, every other day, things like that. If you're a community program, you sort of get to set your own schedule, right? So I would say that the most important thing is consistency. If you can't meet as much, or you can't, if you don't have as much meeting time, you can make up for it because you're working as a team, right? Everyone has their own different schedule, so a lot of people can do work asynchronously, and that is where your strength really comes in as a team, right? If you have a couple of hours while you're free, you could maybe do some research and then update your team on that. So for meeting times, I would recommend at least maybe like 5 hours a week if you really want to be make sure that you're ready and prepared for the competition season. But don't worry if you can't meet that, or if you want to meet more than that, that's also really good. But if you want, yeah. So, of course, the more time you invest in it, the more you get out of it. So it really depends on the commitment level of your team, and then also, of course, your mentors, your community, how much time that you can dedicate to it. So some of the skills that you will be spending all this time on is, of course, on the mechanical side, you have programming, you have mechanical design maybe. I know some teams have began developing like 3D models of their robots. That's been super cool to see. Research, of course, in your innovation project, you have data analysis. You have to like analyze trends or findings and communicate that, right? That's part of your innovation project, and you also have to be really on top of time management and communication. So those are just sort of like the inter-team skills. So yeah, cool. So just to reiterate a little bit, I know I've sort of been a little like jumping around, but so FLL, there's 4 main components of it. There is, of course, the robot performance, which is bam, you throw your robot onto a field and then you say 3, 2, 1, go, and it runs for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That is scored by a referee and then inputted into the score base. And so that is only actually a quarter of your performance in First LEGO League, right? You also have 3 other equally important categories that you also really want to not not neglect, basically. So, as I mentioned before, you have research or your innovation project, which is going to be a judge session that we'll get into a little bit more later. And you also have to prepare a robot design presentation. So this has nothing to do with your robot game, besides the fact that it is your robot. But for robot design, it doesn't matter how many points you score, how fancy your code is, anything like that. For robot design, it really is just talking about what you learned, how you made your robot, and what skills you learned from it. And then there's also the core values aspect, which is no longer judged, but it is observed throughout your entire time at competitions, right? So from the moment you walk in the door, from if you're wearing your team shirt, judges, volunteers, parents, coaches, everyone will be aware of your actions and if they do reflect core values, which we will be going over in a bit. And it's also collectively judged at the judge session specifically, but it is not like, it's no longer an official like Q&A. And there's also a session on judge rubrics specifically later if you guys want to learn more about that. If I do my math right, this adds up to definitely a very valuable and well-rounded experience overall. So just remember that FLL is definitely more than just how many points that you can score, right? So, as I mentioned, the first core values, these are actually the same across all FIRST programs. So if you ever go to a high school program or a middle school program, you'll be very familiar with these. So they have 6 core values. Does anyone know any off the top of their head? That's on the slide. Raise your hand. Yeah, you in the front. Do you want to read out a core value? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Discovery, innovation, impact, teamwork, inclusion, and fun.
Awesome. Yeah, you went ahead and did all 6. So these are our core values. A little small, you can't really see the descriptions. But these should be guiding your basically everything that you're going to be doing throughout your entire season. And yeah. So, and another core aspect is the engineering design process. So not only are you using your engineering design process for your robot, right? You're also using it for your innovation project. So the engineering design process is basically how you problem solve for problems that don't have a very obvious, clear solution, right? Because in the real world, there's a lot of what's called open-ended questions or open-ended problems, and that's where you have to find the best solution. But how do you know what's the best solution, right? There's no textbook answer, there's no template. So the engineering design process is a guideline, a framework that you guys use to sort of walk you through the process and help you come up with a solution. And then there's a part called iterate and communicate, and that is sort of where you get feedback, where you improve on your designs. Maybe if you're trying to solve a problem that archaeologists face, you go and ask archaeologists for their input, right? If they think your solution would be beneficial to them, if what feedback they have for you. So the engineering design process is another core guiding principle of the entire FIRST program. It's basically how you solve problems and find solutions. And so, in the robot game itself, at its core, it is, once again, it's autonomous. You get 2 minutes and 30 seconds to run your robot on this 4-foot by 8-foot field. The actual map is a little smaller. You'll see there's gaps on both ends, and yeah, that's what the map for this year looks like. It changes from year to year. The missions change from year to year, and that is what it looks like for unearthed. A couple of rules. You can start a run or launch your robot as many times as you want, as long as it's starting from a home area or a base area. And then in this area, you can touch your robot as much as you want. You can change out attachments. You can change out attachments. You can change out basically anything on your robot besides the actual robot. You do receive a penalty if you touch your robot outside of this area. So if it's stuck in the middle of the field and you need to rescue it, you do lose a little bit of points for that. There's 4 robot operators per team. So if you have a team of 10, you will only have 4 people at a time standing at the table field, basically. And if you go back, there's 2 home areas, 1 on each side. Sorry, I totally forgot I had this. But you have 2 home areas, 1 on each side, and there will be 2 operators maximum at each side. And there is a rule, you can swap out operators, but you can't switch which side. So at the start of each match, basically, you don't have to have everyone pick a side, but if you have person A, B, C, D, then they can swap, but person A can only ever be on the red side, and person C can only ever be on the blue side. So, and that's just match to match, and you'll be playing 3 matches, actually, at each competition.